These advices to get strong in the gym are something that I wish I was told when I first started getting into the gym and just wanted to get stronger overall. So you hear about all these tips on progressive overload, eat a lot to get stronger, 5 to 8 rep range, so and so, right? But there are some tips that not a lot of people talk about, but are very effective when it comes to strength training. And so the first thing I want to talk about is going to be always changing your workout split. If you are always doing this, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. You're not going to build muscle. You're not going to get stronger. For example, if for the first couple of weeks you do push-pull legs and then you don't see any progress and you're like, you know what, screw this, I'm going to try something else. So you switch to upper, lower. Give that a couple of weeks. But yet you're like, nope, I don't see nothing. I'm going to change it again. Then you go into a bro split. So you're always going back and forth, another workout split. There are so many workout splits online that you can just find any of them. And if you don't think that you're going to progress after a couple of weeks, you decide to switch. That is what you don't want to do. You want to for sure stick to a program. As corny as this might sound, there is no go-to one program works for everything. It's not going to fix all your problems. It all depends on you. On how many times do you know for sure you can go to the gym within the week? Do you need a lot more days? Are you very busy to the point where you can only go a couple days? For myself personally, I go 4 times a week. So in that case, I do upper, lower. So the whole point here is that as long as you are hitting each muscle group twice a week within the week, you're going to be chilling. And of course, you're going to be pushing yourself when you do your workouts. If you can only go twice a week, full body, rest, full body. If you really want to go 6 times a week, which I don't really suggest, you can do push-pull legs and then push-pull legs. But all depends on the person. The next tip I want to talk about is focusing on the proper form and technique, especially if you are starting out in the gym. This is something that I wish I started doing because when I first started working out, I was just ego lifting. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I'm surprised I didn't even get hurt. So that's one thing I wish I did when I first started, because when you're focusing on technique, you are number one focusing on how to properly target muscles, but you're also lifting safely as well. Because eventually when you get stronger, you build strength and you go up in weight, the risk of getting injured is going to be high. So when you first start out and you focus on a technique, you focus on not just controlling from point A to point B, but how your arms should be placed, or how you should be squatting, or proper way to deadlift. Like any exercise you do, just learn the foundations of the exercise, no matter what it is, dumbbell, cable. And so if you don't know how to do certain exercises, bro, there's TikTok, there's YouTube, Facebook. Like you can just literally search up how to, and then whatever exercise you're doing. By the way, if you want to know about squat, bench, and deadlift technique forms, link in the description. So click that if you want to know more about those. But yeah, the technique is it's a very small thing that no one talks about, but it's very effective because a lot of younger people, they like to, just lift the weight and move the weight, right? They're thrusting the air when they're benching, or they're using their whole lower back instead of the legs when they're deadlifting, right? So focusing on that is a very good way to start when you're getting into strength training. And so the third one, not being scared to do free weights. Get used to doing free weights. It sounds scary, but that's the whole point. Free weights, barbells and dumbbells, they do look scary, especially if you don't usually do them. But that's the whole point of strength training. You want to do things that challenge you. You want to do things that are hard because that is what's going to help you grow with muscle development and strength. So why not do them, right? So, for example, when you're doing machines, I'm not saying that they don't help you get strong. They do, they help. But machines, for example, a shoulder press, all you got to do is just focus on moving up and down. When you go to the next level and you do a barbell shoulder press, it's all you, bro. It's GG's. Now, you don't got to focus about moving it now. You have to focus on multiple things now. You have to focus on the bar path, on balancing it, because now you are the one in control of the weight. Then you have to focus on making sure your elbows are nicely placed. So not too tucked in, but not too flared out, right? You want to make sure that your elbow is stacked on top of, your wrist is stacked on top of your elbow. So all those kind of stuff you have to think about. Plus, it doesn't engage your core too, because you're using as much as you can to help yourself move the weight, right? So that is, bro, just by listing all that, I think I could say there's a lot of benefits for doing free weights, right? So when I used to do dumbbell incline press, it was easy. I got so used to it, it was nothing. I stuck to a little bit of weight, 70 pounds, 80 pounds. And then one time I was at the gym and my friend was like, oh, I do incline barbell press. And I'm like, oh shit, I've never done that before. So I had to try it out. So I chucked 135 on it. And when I unracked, it literally almost fell right in front of me. Because I didn't know it was going to be that hard. I didn't know it took that much control and balance to keep the barbell in front of me. Because if I can do incline dumbbell, why not the barbell? So it's a little hard, but it does have its benefits. So if you want to get stronger, you gotta do those things. So these are a couple of tips that not a lot of people talk about, but they do help in the long run. So other than that, guys, I'm going to finish my meal. Got some ground beef, cheese, potatoes, and some vegetables. And yeah, wrap it up. So hope this helps. Sub, like, all that kind of good stuff. Once again, link is in the description for the school community. Other than that, peace.